Welcome to Stache Sports, episode 59. 59, Turkov for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He wears 59. The young Russian guy who we traded for from the Columbus Blue Jackets that's looking pretty good right now for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Even though he won't be playing tonight, or he practiced today because he had a kid. Also today, we got reports that Sidney Crosby from the Winter Olympics due to lower body injury will be placed on IR, meaning that Sidney Crosby will be out for the next 4 weeks. But let's hope that Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Brian Rust, and the other ones, Turkov, and the other ones that we got, Carlson, and Raquel, and the other Penguins can step up in his absence. And maybe Austin Hayes can show that he's decent too. Austin Hayes is a center. Or maybe they might even trade for another center, knowing that the trade deadline is coming up. That might change their plans. But luckily, hopefully Sidney Crosby can come back after the 4 weeks and not miss more time. I know we're number 2 right now in the division, but this is what's going to show us if we're a real team to compete in the playoffs on how we do when one of our superstars is out. Hopefully, like I said, it's the next man up, and the Pittsburgh Penguins can do good and win. If they start tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure, against the New Jersey Devils or American hero Jack Hughes. I don't know if Jack Hughes will be playing tomorrow night, but actually the Penguins play tomorrow night. So let's hope they can continue the winning ways and not lose much games until Crosby comes back. Let's hope they can go on a good win streak now. It'll be interesting to see what they do during the trade deadline. Yesterday, I saw that they traded Kulak. Kulak came in the trade with Stuart Skinner from the Edmonton Oilers. Kulak was on an expired contract, so that's good because the Pirates are not likely going to re-sign him anyway. So the Penguins were not going to likely re-sign Kulak anyway. I mean, he had a couple of goals with us and looked good, but maybe this new defensive man we got from the Colorado Avalanche looks good too. And he had at least one more year under control. He's a little younger than Kulak. So let's hope. So at least we got a second round pick out of it too, which might be good in the future if we don't flip that for nothing else. But the NHL trade deadline is coming up because they had a break in between. But the NHL trade deadline still hasn't yet to come. So we'll see whatever kind of moves the Penguins can do. The Penguins sent Brett Kulak to the Avs for Samuel Girard, Girard, in the 28th second-round pick. Sam Girard has a couple years left on his contract and has about relatively the same stats as Kulak did. He's a defensive man. Hopefully he can help our defense. We'll be interested to see what he does. But he's a lower mid defensive man, and I don't really know much about him because I don't really follow Colorado Avalanche hockey. So we'll have to see how good he can do. But right now, I trust Kyle Dubas because Kyle Dubas has been doing really good trades, in my opinion. It could be General Manager of the Year. Good thing he came from Toronto, and we got rid of that bozo from Philadelphia that we had before him as General Manager, who tried to ruin our team. But luckily now we have Kyle Dubas who's putting our team in the right direction. Let's hope with all these additions he's had, it can help in the absence of Sidney Crosby, since we won't be having Sidney Crosby for the next 4 weeks, which is tough. Luckily, it's not as bad as I thought it might have been at first, when it could have been a whole year. Luckily, it's only 4 weeks. But I know the end of the season's coming up near, since we had a break. I know we're coming up near the end of the season. But still, the Penguins need to keep winning. Let's hope they can continue winning and continue getting more points. But it'll be interesting. Hopefully they can win without Sidney Crosby. They had done pretty decent so far without him. But let's hope they can continue winning without him. I mean, it sucks that he won't be in there because he is one of our best players. But the next man up, and that's why they have a full team around him. So let's hope that Evgeny Malkin can help the Penguins, and Chris Letang and Stuart Skinner and our goaltenders are on point. Arber Sheloff is coming back from the Winter Olympics, so hopefully he can be on point too. And so is Carlson and Ricard Raquel, so hopefully they can be on point. But we will see what happens to that. I just hope they can win without him. But it's going to be tough. But welcome to the Penguins, Sam Girard, depending on how long you're here with us. The trade deadline's coming up soon. I don't know how busy the Penguins are going to be, so I don't need them to really mess up too much. But we'll see if they keep making moves, and I'll break them here on Stache Sports. Last night, during the presidential speech of the State of the Union, he honored the USA hockey team, who was one of the best hockey teams and had one of the greatest games, and making the U.S. win gold for the first time in 46 years. He also gave Connor Hellebuck the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I don't really like to talk about politics, but that's nice. There's other athletes that got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, like Simone Biles and others. But that's nice to see Connor Hellebuck get it. I really do think Connor Hellebuck should have been the MVP of the whole thing, but they gave it to Connor McDavid. And that's kind of funny, because Connor McDavid also got the Conn Smythe Trophy winner one year when he lost the Stanley Cup. So he's getting the MVP for the trophy, but not getting the trophies. It's kind of funny to me. But anyway, congratulations to Connor Hellebuck on getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He had one of the greatest save percentages. He looked like one of the greatest goaltenders. I can't believe that game. If it wasn't for Connor Hellebuck, we probably wouldn't be talking this, and there would be no men's, and we would have won silver. Connor Hellebuck probably had one of the best games as a goaltender I've seen in quite a while. He was lights out. He's from Michigan, but he was lights out. He had one great save. He also had pretty good save percentages in all the rest of the games too, leading up to that, only letting up a couple goals and not that many. Connor Hellebuck should have been the gold player of the game, but luckily he got the President Medal of Freedom. I think that's a little more of a better award than winning an MVP award for the Olympics. And also gold medal for his troubles is not bad either. I wonder how it's going to get received when Connor Hellebuck goes back home, because he plays in the Western Conference for the Winnipeg Jets in Canada. But we'll see how the Canadians do. I mean, they probably wish he was born Canadian, but he was born American and helped the Americans beat the Canadians. It's going to be interesting to see what Austin Matthews does too, because Austin Matthews plays for the for Toronto Maple Leafs, and the rest of the players that play for the United States who play for Canada teams. Also, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of respect to get. Like Jack Hughes tomorrow when he comes to Pittsburgh, if he plays, probably gets a standing ovation, even though he's playing against the Devils, because he helped the United States win gold, which is well deserved and well respected. But we'll see. It's interesting to see them come last night and get honored. They seem to have fun with the president and all that. But congratulations to him, Connor Hellebuck, on being one of the best goaltenders in quite some time that I've seen play. Even Trump admitted to that too, that he was a great goaltender. But that's nice. Tonight is when the NHL starts back. The Penguins start tomorrow, like I said. But tonight we got the Vegas Golden Knights against the Los Angeles Kings. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win. Even though they've been off, I think the Knights are hot. If Jack Eichel plays tonight, if he's available, I think he has a good game. He played for the United States, but we'll see. I don't know. The New Jersey Devils play the Buffalo Sabres tonight. It'll be interesting if Jack Eichel plays and the other people and Tage Thompson play for the Buffalo Sabres, since they're just at the White House. I don't know how soon they'll be back in their respective areas. You got the Flyers over the Capitals. Even though I don't like both of these teams, I'm going to pick the Capitals to beat the Flyers. The Maple Leafs over the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. But a close one. I think the Dallas Stars beat the Kraken. I think the Colorado Avalanche is one of the best teams in hockey. I think they beat Utah in Utah. I think the Winnipeg Jets beat the Canucks. And I think the Edmonton Oilers beat the Anaheim Ducks in hockey. But it's nice to see hockey starting back. I don't know how many of these players, like I said, from the NHL will be playing because of all partying they've been doing going to the White House. So I don't know if they'll be back by now, but they might be. But if Connor Hellebuck plays tonight, that'd be good sighting. But that'd be good. Last night, I got a comment from a baseball kid asking what colleges I like. I graduated from the University of Central Florida, so I like the UCF Knights over everybody. But I root for Florida State because that's where my brother graduated from. I root for Pittsburgh because my grandpa graduated from there. I root for NC State because my other grandpa graduated from there. But if they all play UCF, I'd be rooting for UCF. Talking about UCF, they had a really good game last night against BYU. They looked really tough last night, making a name for themselves and making a name to get in the March Madness tournament, even if they don't do well in the Big 12 tournament, because they only have 7 losses and have 20 wins now. but they looked really good against the number 19 team in the nation, BYU, in their home. And BYU's home, and BYU is not a team to be messed around with. But UCF looked really good last night. When I went to college, I used to go to all the basketball games, but they were decent a couple years ago, but I don't think they're really good this year. They won 97-84 last night and looked really dominant. They looked really dominant going into halftime and kept it going in the second half. That's really great to see Johnny Dawkins and the UCF Knights do that. Let's hope they can continue doing that in the Big 12 tournament and even make it to March Madness, because besides them in Miami, I don't know how many other teams besides them, Miami, maybe the Gators, I don't know how many other teams from the state of Florida will make it to March Madness this year. Because Florida State's not looking pretty good. But I don't know about the other schools like Florida A&M and all of them. But UCF did pretty good last night. Winning 97 to 27 and 96 in Big 12 play. Our biggest player last night was Brooks. Brooks was hot. They cannot stop Brooks. He had 24 points. And so did Flux. He had 24 points too. But they looked really good getting 97 points. I think that might be one of the highest scores that UCF ever done in quite a while. They've also beat a couple of top-ranked teams this year. So that's really good underneath Johnny Dawkins' belt. Even though they've lost a couple of top-ranked teams too. But let's see what they can do in the March Madness if they make it. I think they have a good shot at making it right now, even if they don't do good in the March Madness tournament. But the Knights are pretty good at men's basketball this year and looking really good, which is good because they weren't that good at football and they need a better quarterback, in my personal opinion, in football. But they are looking good in basketball. It's nice to finally see Johnny Dawkins have a good team around him and maybe make some noise in March Madness this year. Other games last night, Duke won big, 100-56 over Notre Dame. Notre Dame didn't even come to play yesterday against them. 56 points, that's pretty bad. Indiana State lost 91-61. That's a little better. Arizona beat Baylor 87-80. Baylor almost came back and almost beat them. Michigan beat Minnesota 77-66. Iowa State beat Utah. Texas Tech beat Cincinnati. Miami of Ohio is looking pretty good this year. They haven't lost a game, but those teams are ones that I don't know if they can really be Cinderella teams because I don't think they really have good competition. So if they make it to March Madness, then they play better. They play better competition. But we'll see. Maybe Miami of Ohio can be one of those Cinderella teams this year in March Madness. For a name to keep an eye on right now, going into the tournament, going into conference play before the tournament. Missouri beat Tennessee and upset them 73-69. Dayton upset St. Louis 77-62. Today is Wednesday. Today's college basketball picks. If you want to bet against me, I got Arkansas beating Texas A&M. I got UConn beating St. John's. I got Florida beating Texas. Nebraska beating Maryland. Vanderbilt beating Georgia. Gonzaga beating Portland, and Alabama beating Mississippi State. But those are my college basketball picks. But like I said, the team I root for out of all the teams that are college basketball are the UCF Knights, because I graduated from there and got my degree in psychology, even though I went first to be a broadcaster, but I don't like journalism. But I like UCF over all of them, and that's how I go. That's why I went to college, even though I root for Pitt and Florida State and other colleges. I root for UCF over them all. So I hope that answered your question, baseball kid, but leave them down there so I can answer them more. Last night, the Boston Celtics looked good. And they're back in action again tonight. But they're looking really good about Jason Tatum this year. Derek White had a big night last night. But even though Peyton Pritchard didn't have a big night coming off the bench, Derek White had a big night for the Celtics, helping them be able to win last night. They played Denver tonight at 10 p.m. on ESPN. I think the Boston Celtics are going to win tonight. Again, for them to win back-to-back. They're on the hot streak right now, and I don't think they're going to cool off anytime soon. They beat the Suns last night 97-81. The Sixers won 135-114. The Hawks won 119-98. The Mavericks won 123-114. The Thunder won 116 to 107. The Cavaliers won 109 to 94. The Hornets won 131 to 99. The Bucks beat the Heat. The Pelicans beat the Warriors, and Timberwolves beat the Trailblazers. And the Magic beat the Lakers 110 to 109. Now it's a real close game. But I've always liked the Boston Celtics. I've liked them when I was young, when they had their winning ways in 2008. I really liked Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and so many more. Sam Hauser had a big night with 16. Derek White had 22 last night. Jaylen Brown didn't even play last night, but the Celtics still won. That's good, even though Jaylen Brown didn't play. But the Celtics still were able to win. The last hope it was a night of rest and to have a back-to-back game tonight, and he plays tonight at 10 p.m. But I don't know. I hope Jaylen Brown's not hurt because the Celtics don't need a major injury like that. So let's just hope, like I said, he was out for precautionary reasons. But if it was, Sam Hauser had 16 points. Quincy had 14 points. Derek White had 22 points. Baylor Striderman, our rookie who's looking pretty good, had 11 points. That's good. Let's hope they can continue winning tonight. Like I said, I don't think they're going to lose. I think Derek White's going to have a big night again. Maybe Jaylen Brown has a big night if he plays tonight and is able to go. Or maybe one of these other bench players like Striderman have a big night. But I think the Celtics are going to be able to beat the Nuggets. I think it might be a little closer than last night because I think the Nuggets are a little better than better than the Phoenix Suns in my personal opinion. But I think it's still going to be a good game. I still think the Celtics are going to win. You also have the Thunder and the Pistons. Those are the two best teams. The Thunder are the best team in the West, and the Pistons are the best team in the East. That's going to be a good game. That might come down to the last wire, but I think the Thunder win in a close one. And Detroit's another team I'm messing around with, so they could also win. But I think the Thunder are have a little more better experience, and I think they have a better team, and I think they win. The Spurs, I think they beat the Raptors because I think Victor Yamba had a big night against the Raptors. I think the Warriors beat the Grizzlies. I think the Rockets beat the Kings. And I think the Cavaliers beat the Milwaukee Bucks because the Cavaliers are looking a lot better this year. But we'll see. But we'll see. I hope the Boston Celtics win tonight. I'll be watching that game tonight. Hopefully they do good again tonight. They've been doing good of late. Even though we don't have Jason Tatum. We've been doing good of late. Well, I said we can get Jaylen Brown back tonight. And he was just resting since the NBA likes to do that sometimes. Well, let's hope that. The NFL Combine's still going on. Let's hope the Steelers looking at receivers, because I think they need receivers. Even though yesterday I saw a mock draft by the guy, Mike Kyber, who never gets it right, saying they need to draft Simpson. I don't think they should draft Simpson in the first round. I really do think they need a receiver, no matter who the quarterback is. We need receivers. I kind of want Cardinal Tape. I don't know if Cardinal Tape from Ohio State will still be available. There might be other ones from USC or other colleges that are pretty good too. I gotta keep looking into that and seeing what happens to that. I gotta look into that and see what receivers I think we need. The draft's gonna be this year in Pittsburgh. So it's right here in downtown Pittsburgh this year. It's gonna be interesting. I think they need to draft a receiver in the future because in the last few years, a lot of good receivers have come out in the first round, and I think that's what they need this year to help be more competitive. No matter who the quarterback is, if it's Will Howard or whoever it is, I think they need a receiver. But we'll see. The Pirates are continuing spring training, but let's see what they do. Right now, some of the Pirate players like Paul Skeens and others are going to leave for the World Baseball Classics that are starting pretty soon. Paul Skeens will be pitching for the United States of America, and there's other players that are going to be playing for their respective countries right now during spring training. But we'll see. Hopefully nobody gets hurt during these, and they can have fun. And they have a good season for the Pirates. Because I really do think the Pirates are going to have a good year this year. But we'll see. We'll see. But we'll see. Also, the Steelers could use other defenders behind Cam Hayward. Because Cam Hayward's getting old. or maybe more offensive line because they need a good offensive line and better people behind them. But they also use a safety in the draft because they need some safety help. But we're getting some of our safeties back from last year because we lost some of our safeties last year early. We lost Sean Elliott early, but he'll getting him back. But we also need safety help. So that's another direction they can go in the first round. But we'll see. They do have, or maybe they might trade up if they think they can get the right piece. So this isn't Pittsburgh and making noise. But we'll see. I don't know if they should draft a quarterback because I think the best quarterback is going to be taken by Mendoza, and I think it's going to be a Raider. I think, like I said again, I think they need to draft receivers. Also, like I said at the beginning, let's hope that the Penguins can do good when they come back tomorrow night against the New Jersey Devils without Sidney Crosby. I know it stinks that it's 4 weeks, but luckily it's not as bad as first thought. So let's hope they can continue. I mean, Evgeny Malkin has done pretty well and still does pretty well when his buddy misses. That's why they're called a two-headed monster. When one monster misses, the other one goes off. So let's hope Evgeny Malkin can continue. And Evgeny Malkin also had a break because he's Russian, and Team Russia was not allowed in the Olympics. So he had a little nice break to heal up since he's been banged up this year also. So let's hope he can come back. Also, we got good news that Chris Letang is off the injured reserve list, and Chris Letang will be back in action tomorrow night against New Jersey Devils. So that's good. Even though we won't have Crosby, we get Letang back. So let's hope that helps the Penguins too. Let's hope the Celtics win tonight, and let's hope the Penguins continue winning ways. I'll bring more updates on trades if the Penguins make more trades because the trade deadline hasn't came up yet, and it's coming up soon. I don't know when it is, but it's coming up soon. And I'll keep you more up to date on the Stache Sports. I also look at more of NFL scouting combine that's happening in Indianapolis. But as always, thank you for watching Stache Sports episode 59.